it is way too early to know exactly what this offseason will bring to the team, but I'm a YouTuber and I need to make content. So we doing it right now. What's going on, guys? It's the king of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and this is the off-season grades. I'm going to be grading every move the Yankees have made. First move we're going to be talking about is the move, the only significant, and what I mean by significant is a major player, a player that's going to have a major role on the team. The only new face in town, Carlos Rodon, signs here on a 6-year deal. A+, A+, A+. Rodon has been in Cy Young conversations in the past. Now the Yankees have 3 guys that have either won the Cy Young or have been in conversations for it over the past 3 years. Nestor Cortez was in the conversation for it for the first few months up to about maybe even 3/4 of the year. No one was going to take it from Justin Verlander. I get that. But like, for him to even be in that sort of top 5 conversation of the Cy Young, he's our 3 starter. Absolutely insane. And then to think about it, you have freaking Luis Severino as your 4 starter who has the potential to be that type of pitcher too. And then if you think about the number 5 spot, once Montas comes back, Montas was a guy that was very coveted come trade deadline last year. And yeah, he had a shoulder injury, so he didn't pitch up to his level. But think if he gets back to form once he comes back. Now we got 5 legitimate guys who could possibly be a number 1 on a team. Maybe not every team. I'm not saying like all these guys could be number 1s anywhere they go. But I'm telling you, if Frankie Montas comes back to his form and he was back on the Oakland A's, he'd be their number 1 starter again. He goes to Miami. Yeah, they have Sandy Alcantara, but he'd probably be the 2 behind him. You have a team out there like Pittsburgh. Nestor Cortez and Luis Severino would be the number 1 there. Like, these are still major league clubs, and they are number 1 caliber. Possibly a third of the clubs out there. So, for the Yankees to have this sort of depth now, when it was considered a weakness come last year, this is an absolute home run of a deal. I'm just glad the Yankees pulled it off. Next on the list, the deal that was the buzz around town here in New York. Aaron Judge agrees to stay here for 9 years, $360 million. This is, again, an A+ deal. And what really makes it an A+ is the fact that he was named captain. I didn't see any way you brought him back and you did not name this guy captain. He has been the leader in that clubhouse, no matter which way you look at it. He puts on a show day in, day out. This is the type of dude you want to build your team around. Now, I just can't wait to see what he does next. The Yankees re-signed Anthony Rizzo. Now, this is, to me, massively important. I'm giving the Yankees an A- on this. Again, not a perfect one, because again, Anthony Rizzo is not the best first baseman in baseball, but to me it was very important to keep Anthony Rizzo in the Bronx. His swing matches up perfectly with what the Yankees stadium brings to the table, and his bat is perfect for what this lineup needs, which is lefty depth. Anthony Rizzo brings that to the top of that lineup. Again, this is just a very diverse lineup with him in it, and when he's not in it, it becomes a very predictable lineup when you just got all righties coming down the list. And then you have like if you put in Aaron Hicks, you have a basically automatic out. Having him at the top as a lefty makes a huge difference in terms of how the lineup is pitched to me. And also, he probably should have won the Gold Glove this year. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did not deserve that shit, and I will stand on that. I will die on that hill. Anthony Rizzo deserved that Gold Glove, and he wasn't even a finalist. To me, that's bullshit. So now they signed Tommy Kahnle, right? To me, that's a B type of deal, because that also coincided with them trading Lucas Litke. And so my question really is, where is our lefty depth in this bullpen? I don't see many lefties out there, because we also lost Miguel Castro. We also lost a few of these guys. Yeah, Miguel Castro was a righty, but he did work well against lefties. We need guys who are going to be working well against lefties, especially against that Astros team, since they have that big freaking 280-pound monster who plays left field and just hits home runs no matter what. Yordan Alvarez. Like, you're gonna need lefties and guys who pitch well against lefties to deal with a player like that. In a lot of ways, I like the deal because Tommy Kahnle to me was a great arm when he was here in New York, and I'm hoping he can come back to form in that way. But I also do have concerns about where our lefty depth is in our bullpen. That's one of the few concerns of the Yankees. But now let's get into some of the deals that didn't happen. Starting off with Bryan Reynolds. To me, the fact the Yankees didn't get Bryan Reynolds, I'm giving them an A- on that. With the asking price of Bryan Reynolds, I do not think the Yankees should have gone through with that deal. A lot of people seem to think, and especially people in my comment section, seem to think that prospects do not matter. No matter what, prospects are going to fail. So go and get the all-star when you get the chance. And to me, that is a load of crap. I don't think all prospects are going to succeed, but I think it's naive to say no prospects will ever succeed. You get rid of those guys right away. But again, we had Aaron Judge that came through our system. We had Luis Severino come through our system. Gleyber Torres, we traded for him as a prospect and then came through our system and now has performed pretty well. These are all guys that came through the minor league system that worked out. These guys have these potentials for a reason. Scouts see things that we don't. We are not in that clubhouse. We are not in that locker room. We don't know exactly what they see, but these guys are trusted, and especially the Yankees scouting department is trusted, especially around the league, in terms of finding talent, because they have had some success. Yes, they've had a lot of failure, but what team hasn't? This is a very unpredictable sport. This is probably the most difficult sport to play. The fact that the Pirates wanted 2 of our 3 top 5 prospects. They wanted 2 of Volpe, Dominguez, and Peraza, and then other top 10 prospects. That is an absolute bullshit offer. Like I said in my video that I posted about it, you had a Juan Soto-like deal being proposed for a guy who's barely an all-star. And I'm not saying barely an all-star as he is not all-star level. In terms of if there's anyone that is replaceable in that all-star game, he has the star role in terms of that locker room because he's on a rebuilding team. And I understand that he wants to win, so he wants out. But he definitely isn't going to get out if his team is going to sabotage every deal and ask for a Juan Soto-esque deal when he is an all-star level player, not a superstar level player. Look, I would have understood it if they said we want 1, and then if you outside the top 10 prospects, I would have said get that deal done. But to say you wanted 2 of the 3 and then other top 10 prospects, get the fuck out of here. I'm happy we didn't get that deal done. Now we move on. A deal that the Yankees were never able to pull off, which was trading IKF or Josh Donaldson. I give them a C on this one. I think wholeheartedly either Peraza or Volpe are going to win that starting shortstop job. It's probably going to be Peraza, but I would not be surprised if Volpe did it. And whoever doesn't win that job is most likely on the short list to either man second base when the Yankees finally figure out a trade for Gleyber Torres. Since, look, I'm not saying I want to trade for Gleyber Torres, but the writing's on the wall. They've been discussing trade offers for him since last year. It's going to happen. He's going to be gone. Having a guy like Peraza or Volpe to play second base alongside them is most likely what's going to happen. We're not going to go out and either trade for a second baseman or sign a second base. It's just not happening. We're most likely going to stay in our farm, and we're going to have a very young infield. Things going to get interesting in what the Yankees decide to do, especially even come 2024 with this. Now you have the possibility that in 2024, you're going to have 4 guys that are almost rookie level guys coming up and playing in your field. Oswald Peraza, Oswaldo Cabrera, Anthony Volpe, Jason Dominguez. Jason Dominguez is starting AA soon, or this upcoming season. If he performs well to start the season, most likely he's going to get bumped up to AAA soon. When he gets bumped up to AAA, that means he's only basically a hot streak away from possibly being called up. But my hunch on that would be they'd wait until the 2024 season and basically give him the same opportunity they're giving Volpe. And in my opinion, Jason Dominguez is going to win that job. He has become highly underrated ever since he got signed. And again, it's very tough to put expectations like that on a player like Mike Trout and Mickey Mantle at 16 years old, he's never going to live up to that. Even if he gets to a just below Mike Trout level, like a very good player, like even a Julio Rodriguez level player, people are going to say that this is disappointing because they expected Mickey Mantle. You just can't do that to someone. That's just too much to be putting on them. And that's a problem we have. And I get that scouts more are talking about, like, in terms of skill wise, he has like similar skills to Mickey Mantle, but fans will always take that player comp as like, that's who his potential is. Not always the case. Not always the case. Sometimes it's just like, look, in terms of who's a switch hitter that plays defense pretty well, well, Mickey Mantle, well, Mike Trout, these are guys who have similar skills. Will he become that? Who knows? But anyways, back to the topic of conversation, because I kind of went on a tangent there. The fact that we're going to have these guys coming up by 2024, in my opinion, you have to find a way to get IKF out of this club. You wanted him, and you said he's a stopgap. He didn't even show out, and then also costed us a game in the ALCS that then caused a sweep. These are all things you have to take into account in these situations. To me, I thought they should have been able to find a deal for IKF. That's one of the downsides I thought of this offseason. Another one would be possibly Josh Donaldson, but I can understand more about Josh Donaldson not being moved. I mean, you kind of bit yourself in the ass when you traded for him, and I get they wanted IKF, but like at the same time, you're really gonna, like, I thought Gio Urshela would have been perfectly fine, and then I thought, I don't even know who you would have put at shortstop at that point, just someone else, right? You didn't have to have IKF, and it proved this season you didn't have to have IKF at short as a stopgap. You could have gone in a different direction. Hell, I mean, I know he is not performing well. He didn't perform well at the end of his run. Hell, even Didi Gregorius would have been fine because of the locker room chemistry he has with those guys. I mean, that's more of a joke, but did not age well. I know when the trade came out, I said it was a good trade. I thought, and I was also naive, and I also didn't believe in a lot of these like statistics and all that stuff. I'm sort of becoming more of a believer in it now. Now you kind of are pigeonholed to keeping Josh Donaldson at third when you could quite honestly theoretically have a third base shortstop tandem of Volpe and Peraza to start the season, and then have Oswaldo as your left fielder. Thought those were, and I think also if you packaged IKF and Donaldson again, you probably wouldn't match value that you traded before, but you would have possibly gotten something, which I think if you would have gotten something and then took a youth approach to this team moving forward, I think it would have been exciting for 2023. Would have been exciting to sort of see the Yankees try and change it up, because in a lot of ways we've sort of just retooled our roster. We're not a team that really likes to rebuild, and that sort of was like the main thing about, like, it would have been fun, because also that's not really tearing down your team if you're getting rid of IKF and Donaldson. I think in a lot of ways you're in ways that is retooling, but retooling in a way that's sort of going younger, not keeping the status quo, sort of going a little bit outside the box. To me, that would have been pretty cool, but long-winded answers, me saying that is a C for me. That's it for me. I think overall, the overall grade, I'd give the Yankees an A-. Not the overall perfect offseason, but it is an offseason that is to be celebrated. So hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.